Hey guys, this is Erin, and if this is your first time to our channel and you want to learn all there is to know about living in Richmond, Virginia, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and click that little bell so you're notified every time we release a new video. Hey everyone, welcome back to Live in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Erin Melton, and we have another great local scoop. I'm so excited to have one of my awesome, longtime clients and wonderful friends, Deb. Deb, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, you are so welcome. I'm happy to. I went to school in South Carolina and Georgia, but I knew I wanted to move back to the Richmond area because I love it here so much. You have all the advantages of the big city.
Right.
You know, all the infrastructure. You have the theater, all kinds of culture. You've got museums and festivals and so on, which, for example, this weekend is the Richmond Folk Festival. And
Oh, yeah.
it's this weekend. And you have art festivals. Arts in the Park is one of the largest arts and crafts festivals on the East Coast. And there's always something happening. There are festivals galore. There are different venues that host musical groups and everything from celebrations on the river, like on is it Belle Isle or Browns Island? I forget which is the one with the performance venues.
But the thing that
that's the one where the festival is this weekend. I'm going tomorrow. I think I should know the name, but
yeah, probably should pull it up.
Anyway,
I always get them mixed up. I always get them mixed up.
I know, I do too. One of them is natural for hiking and rappelling and stuff like that, and the other one is for concert venues and festivals. Right. But
I always get it wrong.
Oh, I know it. But culture-wise, we have so many museums. The Virginia Museum of Fine Arts is seriously, I've heard it was in the top 5 in the country.
It's one of my
really
favorites.
Ranked very, very high. And they're always having special exhibits and so on. So that makes it real interesting. And then for foodies, we have become a real foodie area. I mean, you can find any ethnic food that you'd ever desire. So, you know, there's a lot to offer around here. Plus, our location is great because it's an easy trip to Washington. Of course, I do that by train. And then you've got Virginia Beach, you've got the mountains, you've got Outer Banks within 3 hours or so. And so, but anyway, I love the area.
I do too. I do too. And it was so funny because, you know, we've lived in other areas. You've lived here mostly, right?
Most of my life, yes.
Most of your life, but we've lived definitely in some other spots before. And I got thinking about it. Actually, once we started doing the YouTube channel that I got thinking about, I'm like, this is the Richmond area has been the place that we have lived the absolute longest. And it makes sense why it feels like it feels the most like home.
Home. Yeah. Yeah, and basically, because I've lived in the Midlothian area, like I said, for, I don't know, 30 years or more, but I actually have lived in the Richmond area since I was 6 years old. So, you know, so I know the area, and I really love it. So,
it is. It's anyway. It's a good spot. We'll stick around.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'll definitely stick around.
Love it. All right, Deb. So tell us, this is all about you. Tell us about what part of Richmond you live in.
Okay, I live in Midlothian, which is a suburb very close to the city. It's in the southwest part of the, what do you call the general area of Richmond?
Yes. Very good. And what made you pick Midlothian?
I just love the area because you have a lot of things close by. Lots of wonderful neighborhoods, both large houses, small houses, condos, you name it. And also you've got all the grocery stores and malls you could ever want.
Everything and anything at your fingertips, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And you've lived in Midlothian a lot longer than many people have. Am I right?
Right. I've lived here for a very long time, probably about 30 years or so, maybe even more.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this might be a silly question, Deb, but if you could pick anywhere in the Richmond area to live and money was no object whatsoever, where would you pick and why?
Well, I've thought about this. I thought about this before. A friend and I were actually discussing that. Personally, I would love to live on a lake. I know several of my good friends live on a lake. So that would be possibly Brandermill or any other of the numerous lakes we have around this area, but I would want a small-ish house. So
You froze up a little bit.
I don't need a lot of space.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So just anything that's on the water. And
Yeah,
what is it about the water? What is it about the
it's
water?
just so peaceful. If if you have a patio or a back porch or something, sit and watch the water and the trees blowing in the breeze and birds and squirrels and whatnot. So,
All those things. All
yeah.
those things. Do you think that you'd want to be in a condo or a townhouse, or would you want to be, if you were on the lake, would you want all the privacy?
No, I like having people around me, although you
Okay.
can easily find places like that. My personal preference would be one of those communities where they have the like 55 and older,
Hmm.
where everything you need is on the ground floor. You may have an upstairs room for guests or craft room or whatever,
Right.
but if they had that sort of thing, that would be the ideal.
I gotcha.
Mhm.
And would you want big water, like big expansive, like you could see for a long while? Or are we talking like a little pond?
I wouldn't care.
Wouldn't care? Just
I
as long
wouldn't
as it's
care.
water.
I just like
Okay.
the water.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, but we do have a lot of those 55 and older communities around in the Richmond area.
We do.
They've
We
become
absolutely
very,
do.
very popular.
Are there
Mhm.
any that have jumped out at you?
Well, I have a lot of friends that live in the terraces
Oh,
over
yeah.
off Hull Street, and that's a
Mhm.
great area. It's not on water, but it's a great area, and there are numerous places like that. I have another friend that lives up, Old Buckingham.
Oh, yeah.
There's an area right there, I don't know the name of it, but,
Mhm.
she loves it there, so
Very nice.
yeah.
Very nice. So, Deb, you and I have had the great privilege of working together many times. Can you think of, or what is one or more particular things that you can remember from working with me and my team?
Oh, just that you're so helpful and encouraging and patient. Well, you said 1, sorry.
You
Sorry,
can
that's it's a
you
whole
go
string of
on and
things.
say as much as you want. As
Yeah,
much as you want.
you think back though, I mean, you have helped me with sales and purchases and rentals and everything. I mean, I wouldn't change realtors for anything. I mean, you've just been awesome, but you're also very knowledgeable about what to do with your dwelling of any kind to make it ready to show.
Mhm.
And I think you helped me a lot with that because I tend to have too much clutter, and you help me with turning it into something that anyone could picture him or herself in.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Deb, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing
Sure.
with people, and I know everyone else is appreciated too, and thank you everyone for joining us again for another local scoop, and remember, leave everything better. Once again, if this is your first time to our channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about living in Richmond, Virginia, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and click that little bell so you're notified every time we release a new video.